This is the Anker 757 and it is the power system for the van. And if you are in the market for a portable power station like this, you should not be considering any other brand than Anker right now. Now, what in the world am I talking about? There are a bunch of options whenever it comes to portable battery banks on the market. And it seems pretty crazy to make one claim that one is the best or that you should go over another one, but I think it's pretty simple at this point. I've been looking into batteries and portable power stations for the last 2 years now and becoming more and more informed on them. And I cannot believe the current state of the market and how clear what brand you should go with, Anker, and how clearly better Anker's system and what they're doing is than the rest of the competition. Now, this isn't sponsored or anything. This is just coming from my personal experience and me being an absolute geek over this kind of stuff. Let's go get the box real quick and I'll kind of explain what I'm talking about here. If you're in this segment at all or interested in battery banks at all, you know there are so many brands doing this and so many different options. And part of the reason I'm making this video is because one of the most popular brands right now is Jackery, and in my opinion, they make one of the worst products at one of the worst values. And here's why. Anker is using a significantly better battery system and a significantly better inverter system than the majority of the market. In their new battery systems, they are using lithium iron phosphate batteries, which are much better than the majority of the market's lithium ion batteries. Why is this? Well, it's because they last about 3 times longer than the rest of the market's batteries. Even just going to Jackery's website right now, again, I'm going to be comparing Jackery because they are one of the most competitive brands in this field. I'm going to go to their most comparable battery station to this thing, the 1500, and it's so crazy why you would even consider this brand. And you can see right there, life cycles 1,000 cycles until it goes below 80% capacity. The Anker is 3,000 cycles, so literally 3 times longer. And look at that price. That is $1,700 before taxes and shipping. This with $1,000 shipped to my door. Yes, technically this has 200 less watt hours. The Anker doesn't have a direct comparison to Jackery's 1500. This is a 1200, Jackery has a 1500. So this holds a little bit less power, but not $700 less power. So if you're new to this and you don't know what I'm talking about, you can probably already see why I'm making this video and why I think this is an important thing to point out. I'm tired of seeing people just absolutely blow money on inferior products like Jackery, EcoFlow, Blue Eddy is one of them as well. And how much was the Anker? The Anker was $1,092 shipped to my door. So you are saving almost $760 going with this product, and yet it's better. It doesn't make any sense. The Jackery has inferior cells, it has a worse inverter, and it has worse specs almost all around. And it's not just Jackery. We're going to Goal Zero right now. Goal Zero is one of the other huge name brands in this field. We'll go to one that compares directly with this. See, they have 1,000 and a 1,500. This is 1,200, so let's go with the 1,500. And again, okay, we're looking at $1,800. That's probably going to be closer to $1,900 shipped. And I don't see them advertising the amount of cycles you can get on the battery, so I assume it's probably not good. Oh my God, I didn't even realize they're using nickel metal battery chemistry. What in the world? Yeah, look at that. 500 cycles. Nickel metal is a terrible battery technology. So you see it right there, 500 cycles to 80% capacity. That's how you measure the battery's capacity, is once it gets below 80%, that's considered noticeable. And they give you how many times you can go from 0 to 100% before you get below that threshold. And the Goal Zero is only 500. That is crazy. This is 3,000. And it's using an inferior charge controller, inferior inverter. Yeah, I mean, again, hopefully you can see why I'm making this video. It's like, okay, maybe it's a worse battery, it doesn't last as long, but it's gonna be cheaper. $1,800 before taxes and shipping. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You're gonna be paying almost $900 more for a significantly inferior product compared to the Anker system. Again, technically, this is 1,229 watt hours, and this one is 1,500 watt hours. So it's about 300 watt hours less, but that's not a $900 difference. At maximum, that might be like a $200 difference, maybe. We'll go to another big brand, EcoFlow. They make, again, a really popular product that a lot of people buy. It hurts me every single time I see people buying these. Here we go, 1.2 kilowatt hour capacity. That's exactly what this is. And here we're getting a little bit closer. This is only $900. So this is technically cheaper than the Anker, but it is still using the significantly inferior cells. So they rate it at 800 charge cycles. Again, 3,000. And the warranty is only 24 months. It's 2 years. This is a 5-year warranty. So even with another brand, this is actually after taxes and shipping will come out to just like barely under the cost that it costs this to get to my door. So if you're spending the same money with another brand, you're still getting a significantly inferior product with a way worse warranty. So hopefully you get the point on why I chose Anker and why I'm kind of passionate about this subject, because it doesn't make any sense to go with another brand right now. If you are in the market for a power station right now and you go with anything other than Anker, you are literally just throwing money, burning it for a way worse product. Like, it's so crazy how competitive Anker has gotten in these last couple of years. It's to the point where it doesn't even make sense to go with any other brand besides them right now. So please, if you are buying a portable power station, I'm tired of seeing people waste their money, go with Anker. The only advantage that those other cells, just the lithium ion cells having those other batteries, is that they're lighter. They don't weigh as much. The lithium iron phosphate, the iron in there, it is a literally heavier battery. So maybe if you're taking it like bike packing or that kind of deal, it's gonna matter. But other than that, other than weight, it's crazy how much better these are than the rest of the competition. With that being said, I went with the Anker 757 for my van. Because of course I did. I'd be crazy not to go with anyone else right now. After many hours and over the 2 years, this is what I've settled on for the van build. So I basically never have to worry about power. It has 1229 watt hours of storage and a 1500 watt capacity to like put out. So you can use things that require 1500 watts. If you don't know, a watt hour is a unit of storage. If something requires 1 watt and you can run it for 1 hour, that battery has 1 watt hour. Or if it has 100 watt hours, you can run something that requires 100 watts for 1 hour, that kind of deal. So this guy will be charging off the car and it will be charging off solar panels on the roof, and I should hopefully never have to worry about power. And this is cool because, as you can see, it fits very well on this little hump in the van, like where the passenger seat is. And the charging system is going to be dead simple. This is going to go into the car. I actually have a little Y that comes off the battery that will charge directly from the battery, and I have a little Y split thing here. This end will be coming from the car, and then this end will be coming from a solar panel on the roof. So whenever I'm in sun, power will be going through this into the battery, and whenever I'm driving, the car will be charging the battery through the alternator. And whenever I am driving in sun, it'll be charging through the solar panel and the car at the exact same time, because this can take 300 watts of DC power. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. Running out of power and having to deal with power whenever you're on the road is just simply not fun. It's one of the many things that can bring you back to reality whenever you're living on the road. It's like, oh my God, I'm out of power. I can't charge anything right now, especially for me because I'm charging camera equipment and computers and all this kind of deal. This will make sure that this little thing, this van again is like a tiny little apartment, which is awesome. Very excited. As far as for the actual battery itself, it's pretty simple. As you can see, you got that cool little light on there. It has different intensities. Another reason I like Anker is because they really make their use of space efficient. So you have 3 full grounded plugs up here and then another 3 plugs up here. So you have 6 total household plugs on the battery, 2 USB-C, 1 at 100 watts, 1 at 60 watts, 4 normal USB ports, and then your cigarette lighter car port. I don't really care about this too much. In my use scenario, I'm just going to be plugging an extension cord into one of these, and then the rest of the van will all be plugged into that extension cord, keeping it pretty simple, and so I can unplug this and take it out if I ever want to use it, you know, somewhere else in the van. Now this should be fun. I just got the solar panel that I'm going to be using for the van build in the mail. And you see it's a big old flexible 200 watt solar panel that's going to be going on top of the van. 200 watts kind of the largest size they offer in this style of solar panel, and I got flexible because it has to actually contour to the shape in the roof of the van. And as you can see, this thing is taper thin. I mean, it is so thin. I still want this van to be somewhat stealthy, and I don't want a big old, you know, 1.5 to 2 inch thick solar panel on top, basically displaying that this is a camper van kind of deal. This is super thin. It'll be able to contour to the top of the van and hopefully be pretty hidden from the majority of people. But this is the first time we get to test having solar plus also having the power from the car. I still don't know if this is actually gonna work. Pop open the old garage. Throw the solar panel outside. Plug in our cables, and then plug the actual cable from the solar panel into the battery. And just like that, we are charging off of solar. Currently 47 watts at the end of the day with the solar panel completely flat over there. Now, a big thing I want to test is taking this splitter that goes from 3 different inputs to 1 single input. Plug that 1 single input into the battery, plug the solar panel into one of those inputs. Boom, that is charging like it should. But now I'm actually gonna take power from the car and plug it into the battery at the same exact time that solar charging. This is the part that I'm not sure if it's gonna work, because this is gonna be at a different wattage than the solar panel is gonna be at, so we'll see what happens. Plug that in. Now I'm gonna turn on the car and see what we got. And now we have over 100 watts charging the battery with both combined. Which is actually exactly what we should expect, because right before I plugged in the car, the solar panel was only putting out 30 watts because it's, again, very unideal situation for the solar panel. And the car puts out about 70 to 80 watts to the battery. So yeah, it's right about 100 watts, which is absolutely perfect. That kind of test was something I could not find on the internet. Someone charging this battery with a solar panel and a car at the same time, which I thought was funny because I feel like a lot of people are going to be doing that. But just using the simple 3-way splitter that the battery actually comes with as a 3-way solar splitter, with one of the ends plugged into the actual solar panel and one of the ends plugged into the battery of the car, I get exactly what I should be getting with the wattages. But more importantly, it'll be switching off and on automatically and be a completely autonomous scenario, so I don't have to worry about anything. It'll be charging itself off the sun whenever it can charge off the sun, and charging itself off the battery whenever it can charge off the battery, and at both at the same time whenever it can do that, which is awesome. This is going to work so well. This 200-watt solar panel in ideal conditions is only going to bring in about 140, 150 watts, but 150 watts for a couple hours in the day is going to cover all of, or most at least, of what I'm actually going to be using. Plus, this battery's so big and stores so much power, anything else is going to be covered by me driving or just not using the battery and it filling up with the solar panels. I already calculated that I can use this battery in my system for about 4 days without any charging. So between the solar panel and the actual driving of the van again, this thing should literally last forever. I should never have to worry about power ever again, which is yet another exciting step in the van build. Hopefully you guys understand why you should only be buying Anker, and hopefully I conveyed the reasons why Anker's system and what they're doing with their batteries is so much better than anything else on the market. If you guys have any thoughts about that, or maybe I missed something with one of the batteries out there, let me know in the comments below. Other than that, I think it's time I move on to the next step in the van build.